here on Truth. Truth Avenue has been undergoing gentrification in the last few years. We used to have a house, my dad did, right over there, 42nd and Truth. My sister lived in it for a few years. Naturally, when crime happens here, people get upset, and so there's been a lot of criminal activity, break-ins, and even some violent crime. There's been a crime wave of late, and it seems to be affecting coffee shops. I mean, there's a violent crime rate in the city and several other crime waves, but this one seems to be interesting. It seems to be that people are preying upon coffee shops and trying to figure out why. Maybe they picture coffee shops as easy victims, or there's something in the coffee shops that they want, or I don't know. None of that has been proven true. Coffee shops are just as bad a business to pick on as anyone else. Not that any business is right to pick on, and it hasn't been happening just here around Truth. It's been happening all over the city, even in the plaza and Baltimore and everywhere like that. I mean, Baltimore Street. So yeah, it's crazy, and it's a issue that's near and dear to my heart. I remember, I think it was over a year ago, Cafe had the same problem. They had somebody smash their front window and steal the register. And they've since taken precautions after they got their new register and new door. And it's like, the damage to the property is probably worse than the theft itself in most cases. The damage to the property is usually more expensive to fix and repair. Is that redundant? Oh well. Today we're in downtown Liberty, Clay County. I was gonna say what this is. It's a Lester trial, which everybody's heard of. It's the elderly man who shot a African American teenager. But he shot an African American teenager, knocked on the wrong door. He was looking for one of his siblings. He was supposed to pick him up and take him home. And apparently the elderly gentleman mistook him for something other than a harmless teenager and shot him twice, I believe. And once in the head, and miraculously he's still alive. The teenager it is, and the elderly man is on trial for attempted murder, I guess, or assault or something. Either way, he's in his 80s, and it'd be really sad for him, because if he got convicted and sent to jail, it'd probably be, he's in poor health now, I think, and they're saying he's not even fit to stand trial. And it's a sad situation all the way around. I feel for the teenager, and I feel for everyone involved. And part of me wants to blame something or someone externally, but that won't do any good. Just let the trial play out and don't be judgy. I mean, it's something that makes you angry, of course. But I don't want to get caught up in that, and being a member of the media, it goes against my job to really get caught up in that kind of binary thinking. Binary thinking is a sign of being a classicist, and Many people think the major movements in human history are conservative versus liberal, but that's not true. I don't believe that the major movements, the major wave patterns are really classicist versus romantics, but it's not classicist versus as so much as it's a balance. That's why it goes back and forth like a pendulum. And there are times when you should think in a binary way. You know, binary being yes, no, black, white, polarized thinking. And there are times when you should think in a non-binary way. And really it's a balance between the two hemispheres of our brain. The logical side, which likes to explain everything, and the non-verbal side, which expresses itself and feels the world. We need both hemispheres of our brain to survive, but there are a lot of people who one dominates over the other. And I believe extremes of both aren't helpful. So the liberal conservative thing are just little ripples on the wave. They're not even really significant as far as history goes, and you take a hardcore ideologue, and it doesn't matter what their polarity is, you are talking about the exact same person. And usually that's a hardcore binary thinker. And whenever people want to simplify things in life, they're exhibiting binary behavior. But anyway, let's go get some coffee. Downtown Liberty. And coffee on the square can be had Huey's. And maybe we'll see if they have something light to eat. Love the square. Coffee. Our sassified had oatmeal. We're in Mill Creek Park for a press conference on suicide prevention hotline with the CEO of the nonprofit and Mayor Lucas, and they're using these K cars. That's what they're called. They're called K cars, KEI. Imported directly from Japan. They're even right-hand drive. And they put these neon signs on and everything. Well,
sorry about that.
LED signs. I drove one of these in the Philippines. It was a Suzuki, I believe. These are Hondas. They pretty effectively put the message on the cars, the actual words that people said when they called these hotlines. These cars aren't super popular in the United States or all over the world. They're pretty popular in a lot of places, but not here. And they're very popular in Japan. Looks like I have a break, so let's have some coffee. Cappuccino. This is my last assignment for today, the 9/11 Memorial here in Overland Park, and it's a pretty touching memorial. They've done a really good job. Centerpiece, of course, is the beam from the World Trade Center. I guess it was down in the basement, and you can see all the damage that was done to it. 23 years ago tomorrow. A lot of us remember it like yesterday. Hey, I got a hold of the guy in Raymore who works on Navion, or works on I-5 Sprinters, sorry. And so I'm going to take the Navion down to Raymore. Oh boy, at least have oil changed, and then we'll see where it goes from there. Away we go. Hoy, I am down here in Raymore, Missouri, and this is the first time pulling up on this place. Could it be the place I need for, you know, to replace that Freightliner place that decided they didn't want to do Sprinter vans anymore? You can only hope, but we'll see. Looking for a guy named Sean. High voltage cheer. KC Sprinters entrance. All right. I hope he doesn't look at this thing and go, eek! You didn't tell me it was a RV. I see Sprinters, and they're all the same vintage. Well, not that one. Okay. Unit B entrance. All right, let's just back it in here and get around this Scion. I know it's pronounced Scion, but I like to make fun. Yeah, he may not have the lift for this thing. So a lot of people say, but can only try. Oops, let's not back too far into the trees. All right, we're here, we're queer, get used to it. So here is what's causing my problem. See how that's split? That goes on the turbo. It's a this type of flange. I forget what he called it, but it basically makes the turbo less noisy. And it's glued together, and they eventually fail. And this piece right next to it, he recommends, is an aftermarket piece that will not fail. And there's the turbo, and the thing, we shall call it, technical term, goes on the end there. And I'm knocked out. This is a lot easier than, haha, famous last words. Don't say that until it's done, until it works. There's the replacement part. What's that called?
It's a turbo resonator delete.
Okay. Now this thing is amazing. It's an Airstream, and I've never seen one of these before.
So it was a collaboration between Westfalia and Airstream. They took a 2006 Sprinter, they cut the roof off of it, and they put this much higher roof. I can stand up in the back of a Sprinter, but normally like the roof's about where my head is. I can barely touch the ceiling in this one.
That is amazing.
It's got a motorized skylight, which is pretty cool. It's got these pop-outs that are kind of nice. The bed is up here, so this comes down. And then
or
this
additional
whole thing,
storage.
Yeah, and then this whole thing slides and ends up coming through these tracks to about here. So this folds out to about a little under queen size. It's probably like between a full and a queen. My wife and I slept comfortably on it. Then there's a little table in here that comes out, and that hooks into this track here, and you can swivel these seats around and everybody can use the table. And then it's got a kitchenette, so a propane stove. I forget the size of the water tank, but it's got water and everything. And then
We have to switch places.
Okay.
Because it's got a full bathroom, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, which is like, I don't think I've ever seen a van that's this size that has a full wet bath.
Wow.
So, where's the light on this guy? I need to change that bulb.
And this thing is for sale.
Yes, it is. I need to change the bulb in there. So it's got a full wet bath, which is a black tank toilet.
Mm-hmm.
The sink pulls out and connects up there and turns into a shower, and it's all sealed in here.
Oh, nice. So it's European style, but except for that part, they use cassette toilets in Europe.
Yeah, here we use black tanks. So, yeah, it's really, really cool, really unique setup.
And how much do you want for it?
I believe we have it listed for 75, but we'd accept like 70.
And it's got how many miles?
54,000, I think.
Which is low miles. And what year is it?
2006.
2006.
Yeah.
So this is nice.
It's got.
And you can get to the back too.
Yep. That left door there is a closet.
But I mean, you can open the back hatches, and there's.
Oh yeah. There's more storage back there.
There's storage back there.
And then
And there's
this
storage
is
underneath too.
this is its fridge.
Oh, interesting.
Yep. It's
I
not.
didn't even ask about that.
Yeah, it's not the biggest in the world, but it'll fit anything that you need. And then it's got a microwave under there, but the microwave only works when you're either plugged into shore power or the generator's on.
Oh, and it's got a generator. Interesting. This is what they would call, if it had four-wheel drive, it'd be called an adventure van.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think it qualifies. All right, well, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Well, pardon me for glowing. I'm wearing an orange shirt and I'm driving into the sun. Which is a very poor choice for wearing an orange shirt. But sometimes you find things and you just like can't believe your luck after so much searching and trying to go to dealerships, which is a big mistake, and even contemplating educating yourself in stuff that's beyond me, which I still want to do. But so I'll get to the point. I found this place online and I tried calling it and I couldn't get an answer, before we went on our trip last weekend. And then finally I called it again today and they took me right in. His name is Chris Thompson, KC Sprinters, and he specializes in these older Sprinters, but I think he does all Sprinters. And he just does Sprinters. And I mean, he found the problem right away, got to it, fixed it, I hope. Did an oil change, did a bunch of other things, and he was very reasonably priced. He allowed me to hang out with him and talk to him, and he told me everything he was doing, showed me what he was doing, and I've got a real education. So it's a very rare find. It's very, I can't believe my luck, and I guess it's a sign, this thing doesn't have two tires in the junkyard, because it's a dually. Two tires. I guess it would be the rear tires, maybe one tire in the junkyard, but not so much. I mean, RVs are notorious for being maintenance nightmares. It's just the nature of the beast. I mean, you have a vehicle that was built by two manufacturers who don't necessarily see eye to eye. One manufacturer buys from the other a basic stripped down, in this case what they call a cutaway van, which is a cab and chassis, and then they add the rest. And we were talking and he said something I pretty much know, and it's a word of warning about people in RVs. One thing that RVs are notorious for is going through their transmissions, and I guess this one is no exception. And then people will take an RV and they'll hook a tow vehicle up to it and they'll flat tow, what they call flat towing a car. And I've decided I won't ever try to do that. It's just too tough on your RV. And he said, oh yeah, your Sprinter van, is doing all it can just to tow the coach they put on it. And the manufacturer of the coach will easily exceed the specifications of the chassis. And I'm like, yeah, I've suspected that. And I'm surprised you got that many miles on your transmission. Yeah, well, that's unfortunate because transmission on these things is not cheap. I go, oh no, nothing of Mercedes vehicles is cheap because parts are so hard to come by. All right, do I want to go this way? I think so. Well, I'm in Belton now, and it's rush hour, and I'm taking the back way. So I guess I need to concentrate on that. It's been a long time since I've been in Belton. I guess I'm going to head west on this route, go through a couple of roundabouts, and then head north on Holmes, and hope this thing doesn't prove me wrong, because right now I'm feeling pretty good about things with this van as far as this van goes. I even called and left a message for the chief engineer at where I work, because they have one of these Sprinter vans. They have a couple of Sprinters actually, and one of them's been causing trouble, and I said, yeah, you should go talk to this guy. He probably fix it and show you how to take care of things, but I don't know. Anyway, let me get through Belton. There's a lot of cars driving around here. Well, my excuse is I'm waiting for rush hour to die down, which it probably already has. But I'm gonna go get something to eat because the missus is tired and there won't be anything to eat at the house. And it's a beautiful evening for a walk. Because parking around here sucks. I've come to like this work that's advertising something, but it's so much better than what was up there before. I haven't been here in a long time. Let's see what they have. I got the salad with chicken, some
We're moving
chili.
on. Question number 6. Ooh,
And
we're getting to
parks.
the pretty
Trailer
difficult
park
questions now.
Trailer park tots. Oop, ketchup. We are sassified. There is home sweet home away from home. And somebody already made an offer on it. It wasn't much of an offer. They offered to make payments. I'm afraid it didn't work that way. And I see somebody parked right on my bumper. I'm glad somebody didn't park on my other bumper, or I'd be here for the night. Yep. Now it's time to go home. Home. Ago today, 9/11, it's a famous date, and we're here downtown doing live shots about the jail. Today is going to be a busy day for me, so I don't know if I'll be able to do what I've done a lot of these years, which is recall where I was and what I was doing on this day. So I can reminisce a little now looking at these buildings, you know. Kind of comes to mind a different aspect of that day. There's a little bit of trauma that those of us that remember that day probably all share, and that is how when you see a tall building and an airplane going past it, your mind would imagine unimaginable things. That just hearing the jet engines would make you shudder. So even now when I look up at a tall building, it kind of brings me back to those moments. The skies were cleared after 9/11, I believe, for about a week. So there were no airplanes, and that was eerie. And then the night after it happened, watching the news stories coming out of New York and seeing the streets completely empty, like a ghost town. Those memories still are fresh in my mind. If you know New York, you know that the streets are never empty, but on that night they were. Yet another break-in at a coffee house. You can see the door there is boarded up. It's unclear whether it was robbery as a motive or if it was just vandalism. We don't know if people are actually picking on coffee houses in particular, or if it's just a part of a general trend happening all over the city to all places. But here I am getting video. Nobody claims them, and nobody knows where they came from. Even if they did an investigation, can't find the owners or anything. And they're living their best goat's life, I guess. They've already caught some of them, but animal control is now here in force to try and get the rest of them to this goat herd. And it's one of those stories that a lot of people love.
We're gonna do pallets right here, so there'd be some movement
I
here.
still think that he should have had them thin a little bit. It's a great place for train watching. Here, this bridge is kind of wobbly though. When you stop, you notice it. Scary. All sorts of little historic signs and everything up here. It's a great place to come during the day. I wouldn't come after dark though. Talk about scary. Today our last shoot brought us to Mildred's, and I am having eggs and coffee before I go home. Admire the art. Can't even. That was much more awesome about a couple seconds ago, but the foam has made it less. Coffee. Oh, and I forgot the reason we're here is because this coffee shop got broken into as well. Scum it. Turn on this one.
This is third.
Turn.
Okay. And then?
It's the street you should have been on.
And then? Where's the second street?
And turn left on Douglas.
Turn left on Douglas. Okay.
That car is right away. Go.
Should have driven. Straight?
Straight, turn left on Douglas. Coffee.
Turn left onto Southeast Douglas Street, then turn right onto Southeast 2nd Street.
Here's my store. Lots of traffic. Summit Video Services. Go, go, go. Another impatient. I got bad news for everyone.
Don't you open. Open the window.
At the light, turn right onto Southeast 2nd Street, then turn left onto Southeast
Don't
Johnson
worry,
Street.
Luke. I'm the driver. I have control.
Yeah, but whenever he parts in, he's the driver. He always learns the pilot.
It's okay. Don't worry about today.
No, baby, because there's
Yeah, it's
probably
like French
fries sitting
fries.
on the ground.
Bad news for New Orleans and our friend down there, Captain Caviar. This is Hurricane Francine, and it's heading. The worst part of it's gonna hit probably the west side of New Orleans, maybe even hit New Orleans head on. I don't know, but Captain Caviar is right in this area, Morgan City, actually. And the wind speeds are, I don't know if I can. Yeah, I think I've got everything turned off, just so I can see what's going on. But it's gonna be a Category 2 hurricane. It rapidly intensified. It was gonna hit west of this area, but it wobbled east, and now it's going right at New Orleans. So I wish them well. Let's see if I can make it move. There's 30 frames. Let's see if we can do 150 frames. Alright. So we can kind of see its path. That's a pretty well-defined storm. Oh, yay, hurricane season. So let's update the hurricane in Louisiana. You can see it's the eye came ashore and it went right over Morgan City, and it's going to hit the west side of New Orleans. So yeah, it's not the greatest of situations, but hopefully it's weak enough that it's not really going to do much. So we'll see. I have just come upon a scene of somebody is dead, a homicide, I guess. And I'm going to get some video just in case I can't later. Let's do a little driving tour of Plattsburgh, Missouri. My work has happened to bring me here. We're on West Clay Avenue now. And we're going to come into downtown business district. There's the post office. That looks like an old gas station garage. And that looks like old hotel. And I don't think it's a hotel now, but I could be wrong. Probably apartments. Let's see what it says. Main Street Apartments. There's a Blonde Brews Coffee House. There's a lot of neat faded advertisements on the walls here. And now we're on Jefferson Highway heading north. And we ate there once. It was good. Met the mayor. My arm hurts. Wah. Club Pulse. There is a guy painting a mural about the Jefferson Highway right here on this building. And wonder if we can go around. Yep. Plattsburgh, Missouri, Jefferson Highway from Pine to Palm. And it looks like a really good mural too. Alright, let's turn around and get back into downtown because we don't want to go out of town. These roads back here are narrow. Woo! And I know Plattsburgh, it's got the Studebaker Buggies sign. Talk about faded signs, but somebody's gone in and retouched it because it really shows up well. Seems like a really nice town. And there's that Studebaker Buggy sign. It's an old high-class foods. Little grocery there. Yep. I like these little downtown areas. And Peterman and Company, or wait, Streif Peterman and Company, Studebaker Buggies and Hardware. Oh, there's looks like a recumbent trike in there. Should check that out sometime. And get another look at that mural from the front. They don't have a stop, but I do. Got to pay attention to what you're doing. Oops. There's another mural on this side. Birds. And there's that mural for the Jefferson Highway. Cool. Being made even as we speak. Clinton County. Wow, is that the... And there's another Jefferson Highway sign. Is this the courthouse? Whew. Man, that's not a very pretty courthouse. Main Street Cleaners, China. Is that a Chinese restaurant, or are they selling China? Broadway Salon. I almost read that as saloon. Alright. No, there's a thing about the Jefferson Highway, a little plaque. So they got plenty of references to Jefferson Highway here. Anyway, I'm gonna end this and head towards home. Well, let's go get some coffee. The skies, if you haven't noticed, are overcast, very filtered. Ooh, it's actually warm. That is because of the hurricane. Well, now it's probably a tropical depression now. But yeah, we're being affected by that. We're not getting any of the rain or anything, just the cloudiness. It is a big storm. I've decided I haven't had my coffee, so I want to have it here on Southwest Boulevard. Coffee. It looks good. The coffee, not the cactus. I'm not going to eat the cactus, but the cactus looks interesting too. We are live at Kemper Arena for Fiesta Hispania. We're trying to liven it up with the aperture lights, red and green. I guess Mexican flag, even though it represents all of Hispania, Central South America. But yeah, it's a big empty parking lot in the dark.
Maybe you can live stream your coffee.
The story has brought us to this place here in Independence. It's called Glenwell, and I think it's a really cool place. I like it. It's a bonus. I can have coffee on the job while I'm doing the job. It's kind of a gray day in the city, but that's okay. The weather is nice and cool. And I think the gray is because of the remainder of that hurricane. Moonliner, and we're here because it's Friday, and you know what that means. Except I'm gonna try and figure out how to eat healthy today. We are sassified. I don't usually come to this part of town, but before I head home, I thought I would stop back here, scene of the goat crime, and check out the trains. Town of Kansas. Riverfront West. Berkeley Riverfront. I remember Mayor Berkeley. This is the path over the railroad tracks. Let's see what we got. Town of Kansas Bridge. Well, looky at that. We got a train going across the ASB Bridge. on, dogs. Jimmy. Somebody left their doggy shocker toy, whatever that is. You're at the dog park. Got doggy yang yang going on over there. Oop, we're making friends again. I'm going into Google Maps to show this because you can't see it on the Google Earth. But here's the Kansas City area, and the green line and that red line are the Jefferson Highway. The red line is where the Jefferson Highway used to cross the river at the ASB Bridge, but you can't cross by car there, so they straightened out the line a bit. But looky here, this is the dog park I'm in, this green area, and you can see when it doesn't disappear how the Jefferson Highway kind of goes around the park and touches the northern part of the park. So that's why I call it the Jefferson Highway Dog Park. It's historic and it kind of promotes the Jefferson Highway and promotes the history of the area. And I think it would be appropriate to call what is now called the River Market Dog Park the Jefferson Highway Dog Park. Alright, dongies, we ready to go? Tired out? Let's go. Alrighty then, let me tell ya. While they're still open, let's stop and get some coffee. And I see the flying toothpick is in the shot. The kids have decided that's going to be our family trademark, or like a bug or something that's in our video. Always, since there's always a toothpick on the dash, so they think it's funny to put the toothpick in there. And the last time I was with Saya, she got a toothpick and put it up there. So yeah, that is deliberate. All right, let's get some coffee. Coffee. The dogs are chillaxing. Right, dogs? I was told to get something to eat, so I'm taking somebody up on their word on that. And it's Kansas City in the Crossroads on a Friday night. Or Saturday night, duh. And we've eaten in this place before, and I know there's a variety of different places in there, so I might be able to find something semi-healthy to eat. I set out to have something a little bit healthy, I guess. Although I'm kind of feeling like sick to my stomach. But I don't think that's the restaurant. I think it's just me. The medicine I'm taking. But I had lentil soup and hummus. And if I can only get out of this intersection, maybe. There's always enough cars stopping or whatever. But thought it would be fun to kind of get a tour of what a non-First Friday is like around here. And I think as far as nightlife and bars go, this place is a success. I'm just getting old, I guess. I'm not so much into it. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I would not do that if I were you people. You know, I can tell you from experience that people do not stop. Like that person. It's even dangerous to cross in a car, much less jaywalk these days. That's okay. What do I know? And now we're, I guess, maybe heading to the less active end. I don't know. Can I make it up Grand? Because Main Street was a mess going through the Power and Light District. Here's Grand. Can I do this? Where is... Which way am I... See, they really screw up everything with these cones, because I could go up that way, and I guess that's the wrong way. In Kansas City at night, you wouldn't have seen this 20 years ago. Definitely not 30 years ago. None of this was here then, the 90s. 20 years ago, in the early 2000s, it was just getting started. Wow, look at all these cars parked here. So this is a mess here. Of course, I think they have, or do they? Yep, they do. They have Grand blocked off. Always have Grand blocked off. And I hate that. So we're going around another way. Passing by the now abandoned Casey Star printing press building. This is turning into a little impromptu driving tour with commentary. I know a lot of driving tour people don't like the commentary, but I'm rarely out this late at night. I mean, you know, for non-business. I just came out to get something to eat, and I wanted something other than a burger. I found a place that had another country heard from. Place that had something, had soup. I could have had the vegetable or the lentil. I chose the lentil. I didn't want the vegetable because it had onions in it, and I'm not sure they could take the onions out, so. But I didn't ask. Oh, there's some sort of concert going on. I guess about it. Gotta be careful going through these crosswalks, because pedestrians have the right of way, and that means that they think they're invincible, and if I don't see them, I will feel really bad. So I better keep a watch out for them. Trust me, people, you're not invincible, and it's a lifetime of bodily injury that you will deal with if you get hit by a car, even if you get tapped by a car. Look at all the people on the corner. I guess they're going to that parking garage over there. Yep, looks like it. As long as you're not going across my way. Because again, I think that would take quite a while to clear up. We're here in the government district. There's City Hall to our right. And even to the screen right this time. Not me pointing left, meaning right. Because, you know, when you flip a camera around, point it at yourself, everything is opposite. But I hate it when the camera decides to flip you around, because then if you look, you'll see a shirt or something that has a lettering on it, and it'll all be backwards. I do like this camera. It shoots really well in low light. See, the city is becoming a victim of its success. It's too busy on a Saturday night. Uh-oh, and I need to get over one. And a good thing is it looks like everybody's going to the left, and I'm going straight, which is north. But it's not too fun having to deal with this, I guess, when all you want to do is just go out for a bite. Or actually, my original intention was to go to the coffee shop that I know is open till 11. It's still open, but it's closing up now. And I just didn't feel like cereal. I wanted to try somewhere warm. Soup. I'm always in the mood for soup, especially when fall is coming. This is the government district. That's the that roundish building up there is the federal courthouse, which isn't that old, and they're already doing extensive remodels to it. Your government tax dollars at work. I mean, they're taking all of the glass off of it, glass curtain walls, which essentially are the walls, the outer walls, and doing something. It probably, if I know the federal government, has something to do with some security requirement. All the glass has to be very expensive, bomb-proof or something like that. But that's just a wild ass guess. And that guy just went through a red light in a hurry. That's becoming very common these days. People are just like, rules are for somebody else, I guess. And there he goes, through another light. Are these people cutting it? Yep, they're trying. Here's another one. Nothing like Saturday to bring out all the douchebags. Try and get on over, get out of this fast lane. Let the DBs pass. An awful lot of purple lights on this bridge. I guess the purple means that the lights are failing, like there's something wrong with the processor or something in them. Now we are in North Kansas City. Same name, different city. You put a north in front of it, it becomes a separate city. And actually it's a, compared to Kansas City, which pretty much surrounds it on all sides, North Kansas City is a small town. Very industrial. There's some residential neighborhoods in North Kansas City, some pretty nice ones actually. They're kind of working class, middle class houses. And this was a very, for the longest time, very blue-collar area. The street here is named after the three industries: Armour, Swift, and Burlington. Armour meat packing, Swift trucking, and Burlington Railroad. I believe it was Swift trucking. I could be wrong. But I know the Burlington Railroad and the Armour meat packing are right. Maybe I should have thought about going to that place called the Iron District. It's a little place to the east of here in North Kansas City. It's kind of a outdoor food court area made, I think, with shipping containers. I've been meaning to try that and I haven't. The place I went was a little too loud. Music thumping, overhead speakers, and they were really not super pleasant way to eat. I know, I'm just too old. This city's starting to get a nightlife too. There's there's a couple places that have bands play on weekends, and this is famous for St. Patrick's in March. The week before the parade, they have the Snake Saturday parade. Which it alternates sometimes between really nice weather and really crummy, wintry weather. All right, well, I'm going to end this here in North Kansas City. I'm afraid the highway driving will be a bit too fast for this this gimbal, so I better turn it off here.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. The grace and peace of our Lord Jesus Christ, the love of God, and the communion of the Holy Spirit be with you all. The time he was betrayed and entered willingly into his passion, took bread, giving thanks, broke it, gave it to his disciples, saying, "Take this, all of you, and eat of it. For this is my body, which will be given up for you." In a similar way, when supper was ended, he took the chalice. Once more, giving thanks, he gave it to his disciples, saying, "Take this, all of you, and drink from it. For this is the chalice of my blood, the blood of the new and eternal covenant, which will be poured out for you and for many, for the forgiveness of sins. Do this in memory of me."
The live stream went well today, and we're getting it regular. Eventually we'll work on adding stuff, but
Get a picture. I mean, we have to catch him doing it.
we are
You know, that's how the police are. Yeah, we have to start doing
we're building a following, and that's important. Yeah, maybe apparently somebody got a car broken into, and this might be a person of interest, as the police would say. So, not Dan, the one who's walking up, the one who's got the cart for the garbage, but you got to be careful. He might just be, I don't know, might just be a person in need. While the kiddos are attending their, I guess it's now Sunday school classes, we're gonna have coffee. Haven't been here in a while. Baskets. Oh, their door is fixed. I had a board on this door before. Coffee. Again, we are at Costco. It's kind of a Sunday tradition, I guess. But this time we're at the Costco in Midtown. Costco.